Hey, Planeswalkers, hope you're doing well and staying safe. Welcome to this week's episode of Friday Night Meta, my friends, here, a weekly series on the multiverse. Excited to bring you the latest and greatest news here across Standard, Alchemy, Historic, and Historic Brawl, my friends. So we'll dive into all the details across Best of 1 and Best of 3, equip you with all the greatest decks, neat tricks, all that fun stuff that we like to see here in terms of the statistics when we talk about the meta. So appreciate you tuning in. Flip me a like, smash the subscribe. Love to see you around again. If you happen to have a question or comment or some feedback, please let me know down below. Love to hear from you, or hop in the Discord server, my friends. Many of us in there, please feel free to come say hi. So with that, Planeswalkers, everything's down below in the timestamps for you. So appreciate your support as always, but let's dive into what we have going on here today. So first off, Standard Best of 1. Right now, Naya Humans is the deck to beat. We got Mono White Aggro, Orzhov Control, Mono Green Stompy, and then a host behind that. Orzhov Control at 20%. Huge, huge, huge. So a couple changes, obviously, from the meta. But let's go ahead and look down below here and see what's been happening and occurred. We can see that massive pop in Orzhov Control here over the first kind of week. Since the bannings, we see Mono White falling off, Mono Green. We see Naya Humans picking up speed there as well. So big pop-up happening there. We see the win rate changes, doing really well in this space as well, which is important. I guess I should have said that's actually the season reset, and we've been at it for about 2 weeks, so I take that back, or about a week maybe. And then we got Mono Green, and then we can certainly see some of the other stuff kind of creeping up, cropping up in terms of those win rates as well. So that is Standard at large. If we go to the competitive space, it's not going to be as crazy past Platinum right now because we're only 4 days in. So we'll just take a quick look at this. Mono White Aggro at the best, Naya Humans, Orzhov Control, Mono Green Stompy, and then the rest, Dimmer Zombies just not doing well. Orzhov Control and Mono White Aggro at the top of the list. So with the reset, we're going to keep it at that instead of drilling into each of them here today because there's not usually a ton of or as much data. So let's blow this all the way out. Let's go to Best of 3. Here in Best of 3 for Standard, we got Orzhov Control at the top, Jund Midrange, Mono Green Stompy, Mono Black Zombies, Naya Aggro, Mono White Aggro is its spells. So there you go. Orzhov Control being 27% of the meta, Jund Midrange 24%. Huge, huge. So we can see a lot of this movement happening in terms of what's going on in the meta. Pretty big disparities in terms of decks that are played. And then here's all the win rates that ensue along with that. So as we move up and look at the more competitive space, Mono Black Zombies is actually at the best. We got Orzhov Control, Mono Green Stompy, Mono White Aggro, Jund Midrange, and then you can see 28%, 20%, 14, 15%. So heavily, heavily dominated. Was that 60+% of the meta between those three decks. Absolutely insane. So that is Standard for you right now. Heavily dominated by a few decks. Let's go ahead and see what's cooking in Alchemy. This week we've been working through our Mythras Multiverse Tournament, so thank you to all those of you that have participated. We'll talk about that here a little bit later today, but we'll continue to look through. Right now, Gruul Werewolves is the deck to beat in Best of 1. Not only does it have the highest win rate, it's also the most played. We got Orzhov Control right behind that. Then we have Esper Clerics, Izzet Mill in terms of threes. Mono Green, Mono Black, Izzet Mill, Esper Dungeon, Azorus Control, and then you can see all the other stuff on the side there. You can certainly see Gruul Werewolves has still lost a big chunk of play, so about 4%. We see that Orzhov Control is really skyrocketing. We see the Izzet Mill going up as well in terms of popularity, and then you can see kind of how the win rates are playing out there as well. So this is at Platinum. If we go ahead and go all the way back, we see some of the differences here at a aggregate. Orzhov Clerics at the best spot, Gruul Werewolves, Orzhov Control, Esper Clerics, and then the same on the sides there. So then you can see how that looks as well. So that is Alchemy here for you this week. Next, let's go ahead and take a look at Historic Mono Red Aggro dominating. We have Selesnya Company, Azorus Control, Mono Green Elves, Esper Animator, Reanimator, Azorius Auras, Izzet Phoenix, 5-color Niv. Then you can see on the right here what everyone's playing. Tons of, again, popularity here on the right. We see Mono Red still kind of falling pretty heavily as we move into the new season. Then we can see some of these win rates. Niv not doing real well. Mono Red doing really well in terms of win rates, and everything else kind of going down. Now, if we look at the more competitive scene, let's see if some things move around. Mono Red aggro still remains at the top. Again, 12%, 11% here, so about 45, 50% between the top 4 decks. So pretty consolidated in terms of what we have going on. In the meta, we do see Golgari Food kind of creeping in here. But let's now blow this out and go take a look at best of 3 when it comes to historic. So here's what we got. We got Izzet Phoenix at the top, Squirrel Twin, Azorius Auras, Mono Red Madness, 5-color Niv, Golgari Food, Azorius Control, Rakdos Arcanist. And then on the right, you can see each of the percent plays. Again, Azorius Control being heavily played, but it's down towards 7 there in the bottom of the list. And then you can see how everything's played out. Azorius Control, the very, very popular deck. Izzet Phoenix, very popular deck. See Rakdos Arcanist dropping off, 5-color Niv dropping off. We do see that Azorius Auras popping up. And then we can see a lot of the win rates here in terms of what's happening as well. So let's go ahead, drill into the more competitive space. A little bit changing around here. We got Selesnya Squirrel Twin, Enchantress, Golgari Food, mainly kind of moving up in the stack and the rank and the pack, and then the popularity there. And again, we can see these trends being fairly significant, and then the win rates there as well for us. So that is historic for this week, my friends. So last but not least, we do have our historic Brawl. Do we have any changes? Kinnan, Bonder, Prodigy, Azusa, Nicol Bolas, Heliod, Synthis, Muldrotha, Azeka, God of the Tree. We haven't seen Azeka in some time. Golos is in there as well. Most of the stuff is 2 to 3%. As always, we can see lots of craziness going on here in terms of what was played and how things are kind of consolidating there. And then you can certainly see how the win rates are doing. Kinnan's always been very, very strong as a commander here in the Brawl list. So that is all the information around standard, historic, alchemy, and historic Brawl against best of 1 and best of 3 here for this week. Just a couple of things as we move into events. Big one here being our Good Game Tour from last Saturday. This was almost 250 players played. When we look at the breakdown and the results, we have Koki Kandi here with a beautiful Orzhov mid-range list, certainly impacting a lot of stuff that we've seen in the meta there. We got Izzet Dragons, Izzet Control, Selesnya Ramp, Azorius Control, Orzhov Control. Again, none of those other kind of big speedy decks, mostly kind of mid-range late game stuff there for this tournament, which is pretty big. Then again, like I said, we touch on the Mythras Multiverse Alchemy Tournament. So we're doing pretty good here. If we look at ranks, here's what we got going on. Alex is in first. I'm happen to be in second. I've had a good run so far. We got Trey and Flush Donkey here routing out the top 4. Adavan, Agent Bats, and then Guru, Exalter, Pink Dreams, Spamlet, and the works there. So with that, super fun. We've got to our phase 1. We're down to really our top 4 that we cut to. So hopefully post this weekend, we'll get through there. And all those final results will certainly be out. So looking forward to that and closing that out, and looking forward to my semi-final match. So Lahawk, I'm coming after you. All right. So to close things out again, Planeswalkers, that is what we had for this week. Some pretty big shifts, pretty typical of a reset. A little new here too, just because of the beginning of the month, as things shake out, and then just the recent bannings being so close to that as well. So we'll keep an eye on things as they evolve, but pretty soon we will be going back to Kamigawa here, and looking forward to that and some hot new content and decks as always, Planeswalkers. So with that, thank you again for your support. Flip me a like, smash the subscribe for our weekly series here. Stay up to date with the notifications and all that fun stuff. Last but not least, we'll see you again soon. Tons of great things here on the channel. You can certainly check out all my multiverse matches for the tournament. Let me know what you think. So with that, Planeswalkers, I wish you adieu. I bid you adieu. We'll see you again soon. And with that, you take care. Until next time, Mythras out.